Yo, I'm going to make a thesis right now, and I want everyone to listen. And then I want to hear everyone's feedback on it.
Oh, God.
Social media is the worst thing that's ever happened
Shut
to the
up.
human species.
Stop crying.
Stop. You are that old now, huh?
crying.
Mike's that old? Are you that old that you're like, social media ruined back in the day where we used to go outside?
brains.
Remember when we used to ride bikes? Oh, my God. That's why you ride bikes so much.
Give all the money back, Mike. That you made on social media.
Oh, yeah. Give all the money back that you've ever made on social media, Mark.
Yeah.
Are y'all done?
Hey, we heard your
Are y'all
thesis.
done?
We heard your thesis. We didn't like your thesis.
Yo, listen up. 2013 mass adoption social media.
Who made up that year?
It's just use it as a rough year.
I think it's a European calendar.
Go ahead, Mike.
And by the way, I was wrong about the potato famine in the wrestling episode. It wasn't 1812. It was 1845. And I'm so sorry to anyone in Ireland who suffered under that tremendous problem. Social media, 2012, 2013, adoption. You know, we started to fall into YouTube. Instagram's popping. All this shit starting to come out, right? Visual and noticeable increase in mental illness in both the youth and adult demo, exponential increase in suicide, coinciding with an increase in drugs and substance abuse. Right now, that could be due to a lot of other things as well. Noticeable effects on real life relationships, noticeable effects on marriages, on relationship between man and woman. I'm not going to go into all those classes right now. It'll take me 5 hours. Now, so if you want to weigh out the incremental benefits of social media, I'll hear them right now. By the way, I love social media. I got rich as a result of social media. So did everyone in this fucking room. So it's been great for us. It's been a little gold rush for us. But I'm telling you, after all is said and done, after all the Arab Springs and all of the good things that social media does, it will be a net negative.
I don't think
for
so.
this world.
I don't think so. I don't even think that's
Can I have a
remotely true.
rebuttal?
I think the pros far outweigh the cons. I think while there are definitely many negative side effects and effects of social media, that's the case with any emerging industry. That's the case with any massive emerging industry that has quite literally shifted the way humans interact. We know that to be true. And the pros of social media and some of the conversations that are a result of this connectedness are just that of awareness. So you're saying an increase in mental illness and depression, or is it just a more open conversation about how we're actually feeling? Whereas, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, a century ago, if you were depressed, it was like, suck it up, Sonny. You get hit on the back of the head and you go rake in the yard.
It's not an increase in awareness of it as much as it's an increase in diagnosis of it. And so what I'm saying is there's actually more acute cases of anxiety and depression as a result, or not as a result, but coinciding with the increase of use of iPhone, use of social media. Question.
How depressed
What
do you think the people were in the Great Depression?
Timeout, 30 seconds. It's like what's the show called? Pardon the interruption. Where you get blanked out.
Yo, by the way, I just gotta let you guys know. I hope they got this on camera. He tapped me and he goes, like he hyped himself. That was good.
Hold on, I want to.
He goes like with a cheesy smile. He goes, watch this. Like he's gonna fucking drop a nuke on you, bro. And the fact that he went 30 seconds, shut up. Like all of that, I was here for it and I loved it. My rebuttal, quick, and I'll get you right back to it.
Yeah.
I just think that different level, different devil. So the higher we get with society, we get smarter, we get wiser. Our actual culture is getting better and better, right? We started with fire, now we got DMs. So here's what I'm saying is one thing's gonna burn you. For real. It's gonna burn you.
Well,
if you don't know how to handle it. I have a great relationship, but it came with work. I can't be on Instagram looking at these bad bitches because it'll fuck me up.
What I'm saying is I believe you're the outlier. And this leads,
because I'm working at it, Mike. I'm working at it. It
Sure.
takes a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that don't want to put their phone away and spend time with their family. There's a lot of people that don't want to hustle. There's a lot of people that just want to kick back and put their feet up and laugh. And I get that and I love that. But the only thing that I see increasing in my own eyes are fucking pussies.
That's a ridiculous statement. But you're right, but it's not. It has nothing to do with this conversation.
He's walking.
Question. So we've already started to study the dopamine response as a result of social media, right? that likes, comments, seeing something that you like or dislike does something to your brain. It gives you a drip in your brain that it activates a certain neurotransmitter. So working at something is a great point, and I believe that you do have to do that. But that's kind of like saying I have to work on not doing crack every day and only doing it on set times of the day.
You do.
But it's very hard.
You wrote a book about it.
I know, but no, I'm not. But that's what I'm saying. So I wrote a book about the abstinence from addictive properties, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I do not believe that the 13 to 18-year-old set has the capability to hold themselves accountable and responsible enough to navigate the drug that is social media.
So
Only if God gave them parents to control the household and maybe take their phone away and give them boundaries.
So just like drinking, you think that should be an age of 21.
I'm not saying that, and I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know what the answer is here. But I sit here.
I
with
think they say you have to be over 12 years old
to sign up or 13.
They say it.
But haven't they been looking at an Instagram for kids, like a specific Instagram for kids? It's been a thing lately where it's
how do you know
set
about
up
that?
Because it's been in the news, George. I told
Did
you.
you just try to paint Mike as a pedophile?
A pedo?
Like
Hollywood.
an underhanded
He called
pedo?
me. What did you call me? And then your wingman called me hummus.
Well, he's German. You know what my favorite thing
You
is?
called me Arabian Night, and the other guy called me hummus. My bad for saying you like kids. Sorry, buddy. You have one flip flop. It's weird, bro. It's
the other
weird.
flip-
I did. You'll never find it. You will never find it. It's hidden.
Less coffee. My favorite. I wanted to close the loop on that social media thing.
Close it.
How much of the general awareness or general audience of this show or of the United States in general do you think is having elevated social media engagement the way that you're discussing it as like this purveyor of intelligence across the globe? Do you know what I'm saying? What percentage of the total users?
So small.
Are having this conversation?
And any conversation that increases intellect and expands thought.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot.
1%.
Yeah.
Right. So
Where
because
using social media for good?
no,
Just having this conversation.
just not this conversation specifically, George, but what I'm saying is like having a conversation that elevates their thinking style, right? Because what I was getting at earlier is, and I brought this up on Twitter the other day, and a lot of people responded to it and said this is a great topic for the show, is I think that some of the biggest things you've seen come out of social media are the advent of digitized competition between people that don't even know each other. And the idea of looking at what other, and George, don't take yourself out of it. I'm talking about the general set because I know you do a good job with it. But I think a lot of people have fallen into this pit of always being concerned with what else is out there beyond what they have, which can be good if used responsibly to research trips and travel and learn about new cultures, but can be very dangerous when it is girls, can be very dangerous when it is money and all the things that make you non-content with the things that you have in your own life. I think if nothing more, social media has further removed us from our ability to be grateful on a daily basis.
I agree with you, but I think it's just kind of like the strong will prevail type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think this is where the strong-minded prevail. So you need to give yourself boundaries. And if somebody's listening to this podcast and chooses not to do that, that's their fault. We can't stop our society from growing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I know a girl that built a whole fucking backyard in her house because I'm sorry, a house in her backyard with her son.
How does that work?
Sorry. Her and her son built a whole house in their backyard as a project from YouTube.
Dyslexic.
Well,
It's
then,
backwards.
hold on a second.
It's backwards.
If they built a house in their backyard,
They wanted to. They had like a really.
It was
big
like a little
backyard.
pool house.
Like a really. No,
like
no,
a shed.
If they build a house, if they build a house in their backyard and they're in that house, is the backyard now the front yard of that house?
See, that happens when you use thinking when it comes to social media. You want a backyard with a house? Well, then put boundaries.
Go
You don't wanna use
back to the social media. We've had these discussions before. Discussions.
you got a concussion.
Concussion.
Now I know what it feels like.
You really, let me say this quick,
They don't-
Jeff. You really have to be perfect on this show. You cannot.
I am
Oh,
perfect.
I know
To
that.
me.
I know that.
To me, I'm perfect.
Go.
They don't teach social media. They teach other things in school. I could see, and I believe that they've discussed it before, of teaching what to do, what not to do, what could teach, like, don't do drugs. They teach that in school.
Yeah.
Right.
if social media is a drug, then they should be giving a little bit of information
Yeah,
of like,
yeah.
hey, you could go down this way or you could go down this way. Use it.
But we
how
haven't.
you want
but
to.
we haven't seen the true side effects of the person who is addicted to social media and has sacrificed the sanctity of their life and peace of mind for the phone. We haven't really yet seen.
I think there's been video like movies.
Personally,
No,
anecdotal.
but he means on a
Yes.
statistical basis.
Dude, I know
Like, what-
friends, influencers that are fucking.
I know, but when you're in the DARE program in 5th grade and you can like point to what a crack
like
addict
years
looks
of-
like
okay, gotcha, yeah.
because we've seen it for 50 years.
data,
yeah, like I think data to support like empirical data and proof
Yep,
about
agree.
what it actually does. And by the way, like what's the measure of that? Is it just saying like, hey, the depression rate has gone up? Or
Loss of work,
yeah,
loss of communication with people,
Yeah,
depression, all those.
yeah, like-
I mean,
all
and
those
a lot
things.
of those are very, very like metric driven and measurable. Like I don't think any of the things that I throw out there are like theories. You know what I'm saying? We are becoming disconnected from our fellow
Or
from
more
our fellow
connected.
It's just not the case.
No,
So
it's just
ironic. Yeah, but it's ironic because-
it is because we are. Go ahead. In the metaverse or in the digital world, we're becoming much more connected. So the question becomes, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past, have we simply accepted the fact that we are now hybridized humans? And I'm not saying this jokingly. Have we become somewhat cyborgs? And what are the new rules for that way of living?
Singularity.
Correct. Like, are we approaching it? Right. And it's like,
They say we are.
I don't even know if singularity is the right word.
It is.
The moment when computers match the intelligence of humans. Is that singularity?
That's not singularity.
I'm gonna look it
Singularity
up.
is
Because
when-
I've never been wrong on the show.
I
Singularity-
think that he's right.
No, singularity is when we are one with the computer. You can't. We're
Jeff,
no
you might be in
longer Homo
trouble.
sapien, and we are going into singularity.
We're
I
Homo
think y'all are
sapiens
kind of saying the
sapiens.
same thing.
If we were Homo sapiens,
No, he's
we'd be
saying
eating raw meat.
he's saying we're computer surpasses intelligence of human.
no.
No.
And singularity is when we become one.
Oh shit.
Not like this.
and I'm
man.
right.
Not like this.
And I'm right.
Damn.
Technological singularity, or simply the singularity, is a hypothetical point in time in which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseen changes to human civilization. So technically, we're both wrong / right.
Ray Kurzweil.
It's the easiest way to put
2050,
it.
he
The
says
easiest way to put it is it's the moment that computer or technological wherewithal surpasses humans and becomes uncontrollable.